Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Merkakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. Preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe. Preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe. That be like unto the speckled bird. Preaching this word truthfully, faithfully, strongly, and sincerely. And I say shalom to you, Akim, out there. And this is another news article in the news. And this is from RT. And this is updated 6 hours ago. And this was on September 27th, 2021. It says Pyongyang launches unidentified projectile just as North Korea ambassador takes UN stage, reports. North Korea has fired an unidentified mission off its east coast, according to Japanese and South Korean military source site in local media, just as Pyongyang envy took the stage to address the United Nations in New York. It says the Japanese government announced a possible ballistic missile launch from North Korea on Tuesday, according to the cited by the Kyodo News and the NHK, while South Korea's Yonhap News noted that the Pyongyang fired at least one identifying projectile into EC, citing the South Korean Joint Chief on staff through provided fewer other details on the purported launch. Reports of their apparent test fire made the rounds, just as North Korea's UN ambassador Kim Sung delivered a speech before the General Assembly in New York City, where he condemned that he called a hostile policy towards Pyongyang from the United States and allied nations, including the station of 1,000 American troops in South. And continue on with the article, the U.S. hostile policy against the DPRK finds its clearest expression in its military threats against us, he said, in the acronym for the former name of his country, the Democratic Republic of Korea. Not a single foreign troop, not a single foreign military base exists in the territory of the DPRK, but in South Korea, almost 30,000 U.S. troops are stationed at the numerous military bases, maintaining a war posture to take military action against the DPRK at any moment. While Kim noted that North Korea has never conducted a single military exercise near the U.S. territory, Washington has regularly staged military demonstrations of intimidating nature on the Korean Peninsula and Korean Wars, and conducting within the government in Seoul over the last several decades. The envoy also stated that while few UN member state believes the antagonism with the United States stems solely from North Korea's possession of nuclear weapons, it argues that this is not the case, as the hostile policies began long before it developed its homegrown nuclear arsenal. It says from the very first day of the foundation of the DPRK, the U.S. has not recognized our sovereignty, treating us as an enemy to the state and openly showing its hostile towards the socialist system chosen by our people, Kim said. The U.S., the biggest nuclear power in the world, has began to pose a nuclear threat and antagonizing the DPRK for more than 70 years. Wow. The U.S. hostile policy towards the DPRK is not at all abstract. We face military threats and hostile acts from the U.S. every day. Wow. It says, if confirmed, the latest report of a launch could marks the Pyongyang sixth major six major weapons tests conducted so far in 2021 of this year. According to the Yohank, early this month, North Korea state media reports a successful launch of a new Red Barn mission Mortician, which follows another series of tests in the weeks prior, one reportedly involving newly developed long-range cruise missiles. Such tests are routinely denounced by Washington, which itself regularly conducts large-scale war games with Seoul. It says in the line of Kim's comments before the UN, the Pyongyang has reportedly condemned the drills as proactive, inherently threatened, saying that they effectively sim- simulate an invasion of the North. Through formerly U.S. President Trump briefly negotiated a freeze-for-freeze deal, agreeing that halts the drills in exchange for a pause on Pyongyang weapons tests. The pact quickly falls through, seeing the drills and test resumes. So now, after I just read this article right there, it shows Pyongyang launches an unidentified projectile. This as North Korea ambassador tests in UN stage. So yeah, so if this report is fully true, so I was reading another article. It has a similar relate to this. It was saying if North Korea wanted test its nuclear missiles and long-range missiles defense, and the UN report said, they have a right to do that. So United States, even though they be informed with their briefing that North Korea or South Korea or whatever, mostly North Korea, sometimes they get informed all the time if North Korea testing, launching, or submarine missiles or cruise long missiles, you know, and and the UN said, United States, they shouldn't have no right to tell North Korea what to do. Let them continue to be able to test their nuclear missiles and their nuclear capability. So those are the examples of North America trying to be a police of the world, trying to be a big bully of the world, trying to tell these other countries Slovakia about that. Pull the article up again. So back to what I was saying was, United States, it shows signs right there, they trying to, United States trying to tell what these other countries do. And I'm saying the same thing from my previous videos of, these nations are definitely, not of interest with America no more. A lot of these countries feel like the United States trying to tell them what to do, trying to govern their countries, trying to pose economic sanctions on their countries if it's wrong or right, you know, either side, So, now I'm gonna bring out a scripture for that. Okay, let me bring it out. And this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And it reads through the Holy Scriptures. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet right. So the reason why I brought out this scripture because you are hearing wars and rumors of wars. Even it's a nation doing nuclear tests or countries doing like exercise, military joint drills, just in case, even if it is for training purposes or, or anniversary stage, something like that for an example. But, these are signs of just in case if anything goes down within between these other nations, because, and how the way the looks of it, a lot of these countries are not with America like that with their policies and trying to tell these countries what to do. Like they can't test no nuclear missiles of their own backyard, at their own home countries. Even if, North Korea got their own leaders and everything like that. They got their own thing set up with their nuclear capabilities from an economic standpoint, from a political standpoint, in all other categories. These other nations are really ain't afraid of America like that no more. Even if they put these economic sanctions on them, if they warn other countries to stop nuclear capabilities, but that's still not going to stop them from doing what they're going to do to have nuclear capability and full military training and full military preparations just in case if anything goes down. And then that's why this scripture right here, Matthew 24 and 6, relates to all these things that's been going on so far this year, because you've been seeing all these military exercise drills, with Russia and these other countries, for an example. And you see in North Korea and South Korea doing these military launch practice range missiles, in the Eastern Sea or the sea next to next right to Japan, because North Korea, they can have launch missiles can be launched right towards into the sea over there next to Japan over there, Hey, you never know, they might have some more missiles can launch at a further distance, I mean, you just never know what type of nuclear capabilities that these countries have, And the United States, they need to understand that because, these other countries, they're not afraid of America no more. They're not afraid of modern day Babylon, which is North Korea. I mean, Salakia, let me roughly paraphrase that or refresh that again. What I meant, what I just said. North America is modern day Babylon according to the Holy Scriptures. So these other nations, they're not afraid of America. They're not afraid to stand up against America and be boldly to go against America as well too. If it's in the best interest to protect their country and their people, from the economic sanctions, for the warnings of economic sanctions of military threats or anything, for an examples, So that's all I wanted to bring out. I wanted to do this lesson for too long. So this article caught my eye right here. If, about, Pyongyang, launches an unidentified projectile missile, just as the North Korea ambassador takes the UN stage was talking. While he was talking at the UN stage there in New York, the United Nations over there in New York. And hey, come to find out, it was a nuclear projectile missile was launched for a test. So hey, these are the times they were living in. We're living in some biblical times, like the scripture says in the Holy Scriptures. It should be wars and rumors of wars. Second war was past. Behold, third war coming quickly. Nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. You know, and yours, and these are showing signs of that, and expect to see more signs of that increase in these last days as well too. So with that, I hope this was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Makakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostle, great millstone, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching his word truthfully, faithfully, strongly, and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching his word truthfully, faithfully, strongly, and sincerely. Until next time, I will say shalom.